In today's episode of Tuesday Tech Talks, Danny is finalizing the conversation of the modification of the RP600Ms, and it looks like over the shoulder of Danny, we've got more of the 600 series in-house, which is really exciting, so looking forward to see what Danny has in store for us with those. And we are looking at part 2 conversation between Danny and Tyson. Tyson brought in his very own pair of Klipsch Fortes, and Danny gutted them, rebuilt the crossover, braced it, installed no-res, the whole thing, and they give their listening impressions. This episode was a lot of fun. They're having a great time, and that speaker probably rocks. Fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday's Tech Talk with me, Danny Richie. Good to be back and doing another one of these again. We're going to cover a lot of stuff today. I'm going to talk about the Klipsch Forte III upgrade that I just did with Tyson. That was a fun project and a pretty significant upgrade. I'm going to talk about what's coming up next, like some of these things here. I'm going to cover the RP600 upgrade and give you an update on what was going on there. But before I get into all that good stuff and all the technical stuff, I'm going to cover some extremely frequently asked questions and see if I can answer them again and maybe help you guys who are going to ask me these questions sooner or later. One of the most frequency, that's so funny. The most frequently asked question is, can I do an upgrade for my speakers? In other words, they say, can you do an upgrade for my speakers? Yes, more than likely, I can design an upgrade for your speakers. But again, I do have to have the speaker here. It has to be here for me to measure and test it. And then the follow-up question that I always get is, what will it cost? I don't know. I don't know what it will cost to upgrade your speakers. Again, without it being here, I have no idea what it's going to involve. It's a little like asking me to work on or fix your car, but your car is at home in your driveway, and I don't know what's wrong with it. Same situation with your speakers. It needs to be here for me to see what's going on and figure out what it needs and give you recommendations. So I don't know what it's going to cost to upgrade your speakers. You're just going to have to send it to me like everybody else. That's how everything gets here that I work on. That's how these speakers arrive. Somebody has sent these to me. You do have to pay shipping both ways, and you have to pay me for my time involved in designing and upgrading and whatever the parts cost. So another another frequently asked question, I'm going to do this every time, is about how to order the RP600 kit. It's real easy actually. Most of you guys, everyone I think in the world except for me, has a little device you hold in your hand, and it does everything in the world you can imagine. You can access every bit of information in the world practically on this thing. And a feature that it has is that it allows you to make phone calls on it. I know you guys don't use it for phone calls much anymore. You do texting and you surf the internet on it, but you can make phone calls with it. So what you do is you call GR Research and you place the order. It's as easy as that. Now, if you're one of these guys that's in another country and it's really not that easy for you to give me a call, that's not a problem. Just shoot me an email, tell me where you are and what you're wanting, and I'll get you a cost plus the shipping, and you can pay via PayPal or you can pay using one of your credit cards or whatever you want to do. I'll figure it out for you. You'll be able to order, but in order to place an order, typically just give me a call. And the follow-up question to that I always get is, why are the upgrade kits not on the website? I visited your website and I didn't see the upgrade there. That's right, it's not there. If I did a web page for every upgrade that we do, there'd be 300 or 400 pages of upgrades. I can't keep up with it that much. The time that I would spend building web pages is more time than I spend doing the upgrades. And it just doesn't make sense for me to do that. Now, this last one that I did for the Klipsch RP600 is way more popular than I thought it would be, and I will try and get a web page up so that you guys can just click on it and order it if you'll just be patient. The other thing I want to do, the RP600 upgrade update, is to let you know a little bit about where that's going. When I first did that upgrade and threw it out there, I figured I'd get a few orders for it. It's a fairly popular kit. Didn't expect the sheer number of people ordering these things. I normally stock maybe 50 of each value of inductors and capacitors and resistors and things like that. When the inventory starts getting low, I place an order for additional ones. And when I first released this, I may have had about 30 inductors of that value, and same thing with the sonic caps. And so those went immediately. I could already see the amount of orders coming in that I need to reorder these values and get a bigger inventory. So I ordered 50 more of each of the values, and before that 50 of each of those values arrived, orders had already been filled and back orders were waiting. And as soon as those inductors all arrived, all those orders went out. And before I realized I was even going to be finished with that 50 of each of the values, I ordered another 100, and that 100 shipped last Friday. So this coming week, as you're watching this, I will begin to resume shipping more of those out. And as you can see behind me, the order board is pretty much full, and majority of all of those are all orders for Klipsch RP600 upgrades. And I think last week I shipped orders out to about 8 different countries, which is one of the other points I want to hit here. I get asked all the time, can you ship to whatever country? Yes, we can ship out to whatever country you live in. We cut the no-res up into 4 smaller pieces, so it's not one big sheet, and dimensional weight is much better that way. It gets the cost down. So we're able to get it into a smaller box. It's only 7 pounds and 3 ounces, and then we ship that out to whatever country you live in, so no problem. I just had another request asking how much for shipping to Germany. I already shipped some of these to Germany. It's $78 in shipping. Just send that kit to Germany. And the kit is $209. It includes everything that you saw in the videos. It is all the crossover parts, the schematic, all the wiring, a sheet of no-res, and a set of tube connectors. And yes, the tube connectors do make a notable difference in sound quality. Even Ron Bernay at New Record Day has already done an A/B comparison with the tube connectors and with the standard binding posts, and noted clearly that there was a difference. And to his surprise, you can hear the difference, according to Ron, in the sound clips that he recorded from it. So I know those are going to be out probably next week or this week, and maybe you guys can watch that and hear the sound clips. I know those are coming. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Now, what's next is some of the things that you see right here next to me. More Klipsch speakers. Why more Klipsch speakers? Because people send me Klipsch speakers. I don't have a thing out for Klipsch. I'm not out to get them or make them look bad or try and fix everything they make. I just work on what people send me, and this is what you guys are sending me. So I'll do a similar upgrade for these models, the center channel and the floor standing version. I'll make it available. At some point I'll try to put it on the website so you can click on it and order it. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I haven't done the work yet. Let me say that again. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I haven't done the work yet. I know I'm going to get asked that anyway. So be patient with me. That stuff's coming. And I know a lot of feedback has started rolling in on the RP600. All of it's been really, really good. So thank you, all of you guys. And continue to post your feedback. That's much appreciated. Okay, now the fun stuff. Klipsch Forte IIIs. Those showed up last week. Tyson is a customer and friend from the Denver, Colorado area. He drove down last week, which was perfect timing. My wife left and went to a wedding in Colorado, and we had the whole house to ourselves. So we stayed up late at night cranking music and having a good time and doing an upgrade for that speaker. Now, the speaker definitely had some issues when we first set them up and listened to them. It had some good qualities. It had some good bones. It had some good things to work with. So it was a little bit of a surprise what things it didn't do very well versus the things that it did do very well. It was kind of interesting. It's at the end of this shot, I'm going to play for you the video that I shot last week while Tyson was here, and the two of us are sitting there together summing up listening impressions and showing you a little bit more about that upgrade. So I'm not going to get deep into the whole listening impressions because that's coming right after this segment. And I will say though that the frequency response was pretty smooth, but had some rough spots. It had one bump at 1 kHz that kind of was like a flashlight in my eyes while I was listening to it with some music. It got to me a little bit. I recognized it right away, and it was there. And so the upgrade fixes that. It smooths out the top end a little bit. It reduces the parts count by a little bit. It corrected the phase relationship of the drivers a little bit. The horizontal off axis and vertical off axis were a little bit better. The spectral decay was a little bit cleaner down in the woofer section. And I'm going to post a link for you guys to click on, and it's going to take you to our forum and audio circle where you can see all the measurements. And you can ask questions there too if you want. The cabinet was fairly resonant. It had a 3/4 inch MDF cabinet, which is a pretty big box, and there was no bracing. So I cut some diagonal braces, and Tyson glued those in. I'll throw some pictures up for you to look at on that and see how those braces were glued in. And then we went in with some no-res and filled in all the areas around the bracing, and that really stiffened up the cabinet and really helped with the resonance issue. So even for you guys out there that don't want to do the upgrade, you just want to do that to those speakers, that's going to help a lot. The whole kit itself, I'm going to make this available. It's going to be 2 sheets of no-res, set of tube connectors, all new wiring, and all new crossover parts. That total came to $635. So $635 gets you everything you need. You're going to have a schematic. You're going to have my support. Yes, you can do it. It's a little more involved than the little RP600 upgrade that I did because it involves more parts and connecting more drivers. But it's just as easy. It's more to do, but it's not any harder to do. It's still a kit that a novice can pull off. So it came out pretty well. We also added a lot of insulation across the top of the speaker, up around the drivers and down around the bottom, and that helped increase the airflow, or increase the size of the box by slowing down the airflow in the box, and made the box act as if it was slightly bigger, even though we took up a little bit of space with those braces. And the tuning frequency wound up being a little bit lower, which also sounded as if it really helped the response quite a bit. So all in all, it was a really good upgrade, pretty significant, and any of you guys that own these speakers, I highly recommend it. It certainly brings them up to a whole new level. That's it for the moment. I'm going to cut right to Tyson and I. We're still a little bit laughing and cutting up in the video a little bit, and because we had so much fun with these, and I hope you will too if you want to do the upgrade. And that's it for now, and we'll get right to me and Tyson. All right, everybody, here we are kind of on a wrap up of this upgrade that I did to the Klipsch Forte III model that Tyson brought over to me. Tyson, you want to fill everybody in on why you decided to bring me this speaker of all speakers?
Sure. So there's a little bit of a story behind this. When I was at Rocky Mountain, and I've been going to Rocky Mountain for dozens of years, I was kind of looking for like a fun party speaker, and I heard the Forte, and it was the first Klipsch I heard where the basic sound was fairly smooth and listenable compared to most other models. Like, you know, you listen to the Cornwall or the Klipsch horns, and they're like way more dynamic and like really fun.
Really aggressive.
But they're also kind of shouty, right? And aggressive.
Shouty.
So those were out. When I heard this, it was surprising. I was like, oh, that's a Klipsch I can live with. That sounds like really nice.
Right.
And so I bought them, and I was like, oh, they're in my second system upstairs. You know, I have my dedicated system downstairs, which is super high end. But I want to I want a rock out speaker for me and my daughter so we can have dance offs. It'll be fun, which we do. It's awesome. But you did the upgrade to the bookshelf Klipsch, the RP600. Is that it?
RP600, yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of kicked off in my brain, like, oh, I wonder if he could do anything with my speaker.
Yeah.
So I started off and I really liked the basic sound, but there were a couple of things, like as someone who has like crazy expensive gear and I'm spoiled, right?
Yeah.
So I have like a super high reference level.
You notice the shortcomings immediately.
Yeah. And so, I thought I could live with them. I was like, over time, like there's a couple things that kind of bug me. I wonder if Danny could work his magic.
Yeah.
So
here they came, and it was a fun project. We started out giving it a listen and kind of getting a feel for what was there, and then we took it to the shop and just cut them open.
Yeah, we completely gutted these things.
We gutted them and added a lot of bracing.
Yeah. Oh, so I'll talk about what we found.
Yeah.
So what we found, we pulled off all the drivers. The drivers had sort of thin magnetic frames, like steel frames. They were a little resonant, so we're like, oh, we should damp that. There was some acoustic foam that was stapled to the walls, so that was, better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
And the cabinet itself was 3/4 inch MDF, which is a lot better than plywood.
Yeah.
I think they used to use. So
yeah, they had some.
Yeah, so like there were reasons why it sounded good. Like they did some things.
That's a big
well.
box to have no bracing.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things. When you pushed them, they got muddy, right?
Yeah,
like
we could tell. When we did listening impressions, it was at some point at a low level, it was like, I don't hear any issue there. It seems okay. And then we bring the volume and went, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Like,
so some of it was volume dependent.
Yeah.
So what else? So we went in and we, looked at all of that, did an analysis, realized, hey, this is a good platform to do some upgrades.
Yeah.
The crossover used, iron core inductors for all of the inductors and sandcast resistors.
Yeah, the cheapies, yeah.
So those clearly had to go. And while we were there,
we
were like, let's measure. Do the frequency response, spectral decay, all the stuff.
Yeah. Funny how during the listening impressions, there was an issue that I noted, and I think we both noticed it right at 1 kHz. You could hear that brightness. Yes. I kept saying, there's something going on at 1 kHz. And sure enough, there's a bump right there in the response at 1 kHz. So it was definitely one of those where it's a redo. It's a redesign. And
scratch.
From scratch. Let me see what I can do with this and simplify things if possible and streamline it. And then let's go into it with some higher quality parts. Now, the overall frequency response originally was pretty smooth. I mean, it wasn't tilted up in the top or anything. Other than that little bump at 1 kHz, it was a fairly smooth response.
Yeah, I think the Klipsch engineers did a good job.
They did a pretty good job.
There was a reason I liked it in the first place, right?
There was a little bumpy along the path, a little jagged, but it was overall not that bad. Just that one area to me.
Well, and then what was it we were listening to? AC/DC?
Oh, yeah.
And like he hit the guitar solo and it like all of a sudden it sounded like a little AM radio playing.
It did.
I'm like, how can Klipsch not do well with AC/DC?
It sounded like a little radio playing the electric guitar. It just was so thin and lifeless. There was no body there, which was the opposite of what I expected. I expected for it to be a speaker you could really rock out to.
Yeah.
But it really failed on that music. And then when we'd play Jennifer Warnes or something, you'd think,
Krause.
Yeah, you'd think it's not going to do that.
No, but Klipsch, are you kidding?
But the vocal was still pretty good.
It was nice.
It was pretty nice. So yeah. And then here's the result. Yeah.
Here's the original.
Yeah, the original. All iron core inductors, little gauge, and
what do you call these? Dental floss gauge?
Some of them are dental floss gauge. Yeah, they're pretty thin. And
sandcast resistors.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
So went in with all the RC air core inductors for everything. I was able to lower the parts count by 2. They still needed quite a bit of parts. I mean, it needed some correction, and the slopes needed to be a little steeper because the driver offsets are quite drastic. And but yeah, sonic caps throughout, 2 mils resistors. I was able to do it without a whole lot of parts added. So and then that smoothed everything out.
And better quality.
Oh yeah, better quality. So then our listening impressions were the complete opposite of what they were before. I mean,
man. Well, last night, 11 o'clock at night, we're like, AC/DC.
I think we quit at 11:45 and said we should quit and go to bed. And we were up playing. We were just cranking stuff. We were changing amps. Now the electric guitar sounded like there was an actual electric guitar amp there
Right,
that the guy
right.
was playing through, and you could just feel the string and the vibrance and the hit
Yeah.
of every note, and it was just very lifelike.
Well, yeah, it was
fun.
a sense of live.
Yeah, it was
right?
a live sense.
Like not live like here someone's giving you a private concert in your home. It's more like, oh, I'm at the venue with the best
Yeah.
seats in the house and they are rocking.
Yeah,
Right?
and it was
And
fun.
The bass, like, oh my
Bass
god,
was
the
tight now.
bass was like percussive and
Yeah.
impactful.
Of course, we added after a little bit. We turned the servo subs on.
Yeah, we did
And
do
we
that.
cranked that up and added bottom end that was flat to 20 hertz.
Oh,
so
man, that was insane.
that increased the scale of everything to just so impactful top to bottom. So I guess in the end, they turned out to be really fun.
They did.
They're a lot of fun speaker. I mean, it was nothing like anything that I do or anything in the room here that we've been listening to. It's completely different. It's not the speaker for everybody or most of the music I listen to. But
Well, but okay, I have to disagree a little because like when we put on like Alison Krauss or Jennifer
still
Warren,
good.
It was better. It was
missing-
substantially better.
lots better.
than it was.
Lots better.
Yeah.
But it was, to me, it's a speaker that favors a certain type of reproduction.
It's fast. It's a very fast, clean,
I'm
percussive sound.
As you know, and you're the same way with your other speakers. You're listening for soundstage layering and depth and speed and resolution.
Well, speed and resolution it does.
It does speed and resolution.
Yeah.
Depth and soundstage, though, it's not an open baffle speaker. I mean,
Right.
there's-
Well, and the other thing we found was the horns were considerably offset from each other,
Yeah.
which messes with the
It
timing.
messes with the timing.
And that affects your soundstage. But
Yeah.
I felt like it didn't matter as much with this speaker. Like normally I'm
Yeah.
really finicky about that stuff,
Yeah.
but with this speaker there was such a sense of engagement and
and we just kept
liveliness.
pulling out, like, oh, let's see how it
Like,
does
let's
with
see
this.
what it does with this.
Let's see what
Like,
it
we
does
just kept
with-
pulling out new
Let's see what
albums.
it does with Metallica. And we were just cranking stuff and having a ball with it.
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
I said at one point to him, I said, for playing this type of music, these are more fun than any other speakers I've got in here.
Yeah, they are.
And they were more fun to listen to for that type of music and just rock out and have fun, and for the exact purpose that you wanted them for.
Right.
They're really good.
Well, and for the audiophile stuff, they went from pretty good before.
Yeah,
with
they were
one little
okay
bit of
before to,
problem,
like, man, those are-
like they're really competent now.
Yeah,
they're,
really
they're
competent.
actually quite good.
Yeah.
Much better than they were
Yeah, the detail and the resolution levels and things.
across the board.
Really good. Some of that Jennifer Warnes we listened to, the Nightingale or the Panther song, there was a lot of really clean detail in the beginning that was really precise and
Yeah.
handled it really well. Just, it didn't scale it depth-wise.
No.
But the tonality of it was really good.
And the sense of like
Right.
that instrument is like right there. Like there's a physical palpability to,
Yeah.
and I think it's just like how clean the speaker is and how just
Yeah.
you've always been saying, hey, spectral decay is important. And before this speaker, I was doubting you, but now that like we've listened to it, I'm like all the things that I would normally be finicky about, they don't seem to matter. And I think it's because we now have a super inert box.
Yeah.
And it already had great spectral decay, and we just built on that. So we took the
Yeah.
strengths that it already had and just took
Yep.
it that much further. So I'm
Yeah.
super happy with it.
So I guess in the end, I know everybody's going to ask, is it available as a kit? And I will make it available as a kit. I will put together a package for you guys and say, here's everything you need, and put it all together and give you a wiring diagram and a schematic, and you guys can have fun with it, just like we did.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming. I don't have prices on anything yet. Don't ask me for price yet. That's coming. And I guess that's it, man.
All right, it was a blast.
It was fun. It was a
Thanks.
fun upgrade, and I appreciate Tyson bringing it, and we had a great time together. And that's it for this week's Tech Talk. So see you guys next week.
Take care.